show courage. If you want them to act with integrity, let your actions reflect integrity. Consider the examples of Alexander the Great. Despite being a king, he shared his hardship with his soldiers. He marched along them, ate the same food, and endured the same conditions. His willingness to lead by example earned him the loyalty of his men and made him one of the greatest military leaders in history. Leadership in the context of Nigeria. Let us bring the discussions home. Nigeria faces numerous challenges, from insurgencies to economic instability. As members of the Nigerian Armed Forces, you are at the forefront of addressing these challenges. The leadership you demonstrate has a direct impact on the future of our nation. You are not just soldiers, you are role models. The young boys and girls in villages, towns, and cities across Nigeria look up to you as symbols of discipline and strength. Your leadership can inspire a generation to believe in the power of service, sacrifice, and unity. To drive home some of these points, let's look at this. The missing link in leadership in Nigeria. There's currently an epidemic of governors arresting their critics in Nigeria. Funny enough, the federal government, which is the most powerful, is not doing it, but some states are. I do not want to cause a national political crisis, so I will not mention names, but you can just Google the information. There seems to be a misunderstanding of what leadership is at some levels of today's Nigeria. A leader is an innovator who shows people the way to go. Dominating people is not a leadership trait. It is a sign of insecurity and inferiority. This is why Nigerians are rebelling against many of their governors. Instead of dominating others, a leader dominates himself, and by so doing, the public will nominate such a one as their leader. Through leadership, do not only improve others, they first improve themselves, and then everything flows from their improvement. But Oyo State stands out. Governor Seyi Makinde has shown immense leadership in the past few years. If happened once or twice, I would say it was a coincidental flash in the pan, but it is relative. It is now a pattern. We recall when Odua separatists tried to disturb the peace in Ibadan. Makinde did not wait for the federal government or the Nigerian army to step in. He handled the situation immediately, authoritatively, and decisively. He arrested the perpetrators. Within 3 days, they were on trial. As I speak with you, they have been convicted and are serving various prison sentences. But when the same thing happened in other states, the governors wrung their hands. They allowed the situation to fester today. Today, we have multiple internal security crises in almost all geopolitical zones. And then the unfortunate stampede occurred, and the same thing happened. Without being intimidated by the persons involved, and they were highly connected persons, Makinde arrested the perpetrators. And they are now guests at the Oyo State Government House at Ogodi Prison. However, stampedes occurred in other places. Why have the perpetrators not been given the Makinde treatment? The answer is leadership. Makinde has not arrested his critics, but he has arrested situations that could have led to a breakdown in law and order in his state. This goes back to what I began with. Except a leader has developed himself and continues to do so, he cannot develop those he leads. And his insecurities might even cause him to mislead them. While many of our governors are using their powers to rule instead